think, huh? Feel your heart beating?
Welcome into Box Office Quarterbacks. I'm Jeff. That's Ahmed. We are talking about the Penguin series or season finale, depending on who you want to ask. Could come back for season 2. I've been sitting on this for 2 days. Ahmed literally just finished this, though. Ahmed, I want to get straight to your instant reactions.
It was insane. Um, I'm still replaying a lot of it in my head because I'm still trying to process what I just saw. Um, so many twists and turns, and it's like cartoonish almost. Like, oh, I genuinely didn't see that coming, but that there's no way. And then just twist after twist, and it was just like again, I'm still processing what I just witnessed.
Yeah, this definitely stuck the landing. It is one of the best seasons of TV you will see this year, maybe the best season of TV. And that's not just comic book shows, that's anything. This show is probably right up there with Daredevil season 1 as like the best comic book series of all time, in my opinion.
You guys, Scratchy passed away a month ago. This is Zelda.
Oh,
She just pulled a Scratchy.
she is so cute. And
She just pulled a Scratchy and
yeah,
cameoed on the episode.
it's a
We're like
fitting
not even 5
introduction.
minutes in, and she's already like taken over. Calm down. Anyways, um, I'd also argue that it's not just that it's the best show, a superhero show, or supervillain show, a spin-off. I think it's a really, I think it's just a good show in and of itself. Zelda hasn't seen it, so her opinion doesn't matter.
Zelda, she's a big fan of Selena Kyle, Batman, though.
Clearly, look at her go!
Catwoman,
Look
yeah.
at her go!
This is the cutest detour in the world. Um, like we miss Scratchy every day, but this is a very touching uh, first episode appearance for Zelda. Hopefully, we see her a lot more on here.
No, the house feels full again. But yeah, it's the best the show I've seen this year, which is a little sad. I think if you think about it, because why are we turning to superhero or comic book movies or TV shows for support? When like they're because that's all these comic book superhero shows are doing is they're taking a concept that we enjoy. People love mafia movies, so the fact that they were able to kind of not make the Penguin feel like a superhero show or comic book series, it felt like you were watching The Sopranos or The Wire, any sort of gangster and narcotics show, and uh, it was awesome. I like that they had a lot of creative freedom on that. So, writers, step your game up.
Yeah, so Colin Farrell in an interview said that you are not going to like Oz by the end of this series. And you really hate Oz at the end of this episode, especially how the episode ends. Obviously, this is a spoiler review, but Oz takes over Gotham. He leaves Sophia to live essentially the rest of her days in Arkham. She will probably get out, but then he's sitting in the park having a quiet moment with Vic, who has become the heart and soul of this series.
We don't need to
And
relive it, Jeff.
hey,
God,
we're going to relive it. And
no,
he
it was
rips
tragic.
the heart out of the series, basically making him unforgiving. This is not like a Morbius or a Venom where, the villain's actually kind of a good guy. This was a dark, twisted ending. So much so that it did remind me of like the original plan for Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad. He was supposed to die at the end of season 1, and we would have got a moment like this. It happened here, and man, I am still thinking about that.
Jeez. Yeah, no. So it is one of those. It's so heartbreaking, but because it's heartbreaking, that's why he had to do it. Um, I don't agree with it, but but the fact that he was able to articulate it, a lot of those cold hearted blah 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 blah, that's who they have to be. They have to have no feelings, no ties, no weaknesses, which is what Cobra Kai was trying to do. But this took a they just are sucky at it, unfortunately. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like you're supposed to hate the villain. We talked about that, I think, in the previous episode, you and I, where I said they too many times we're seeing likable villains. These are shitty people. Like we're supposed to have like a love hate for them, but we still need to remember that they're the bad guy. And so I love that the ending twist was you feel a little conflicted because you feel bad that he lost his mom, blah blah blah, but he's still a sick bastard because as much as he loved his mom, he was willing to let her die or get hurt for him to survive.
Yeah, that whole thing with his mom was just crazy too, because at the beginning of this episode, it's revealed that his mom hates him,
Yeah,
thinks he's the devil for what he did to his brothers, and was about to let him get murdered by Rex, the mobster, and changes her mind because Oz kind of sweet talks his way out of it. But that was just crazy because he was willing to let them cut off his mom's finger to keep the lie of him having nothing to do with his brother's death
yeah,
alive. He is a monster.
because it could be he yes, he does want to um save his own life, but he is also of the opinion that he doesn't want his mom to see him as anything other than what he is. Uh, and that stripper, Eve, I saw her and I'm like, wait, isn't she the one who also betrayed him? But she does not look comfortable. She looks like she's being taken hostage.
And it's
And she
messed up
looks,
because he makes her dress like his mom.
yeah, yeah. And that scene where he's showing his mom the penthouse and then that tear falls down. I wonder if it was not so much a tear of joy, of a tear of fuck.
Yeah, she's trapped with the devil now till the end of her days, and she can't move. She's a vegetable. He is the weirdest mama's boy ever portrayed in media. I would say it's just he is a very weird thing going with his mom, where he wanted her all to himself, and
It's almost like Oedipal in a way,
yeah,
where it's very just like this is what psychopaths are. Whenever there was a documentary I once watched, it was like the making of a dictator or making of a conqueror or something like that, and they always have to have mom issues if they're men.
yeah. They really made this dude multi-layered. This is a character in the comics, Oswald Cobblepot. If you go back to the 1960s, Batman is this cackling villain that smokes cigars and just he's not really that deep. And then you get the Danny DeVito version, and that's a little bit darker. The Penguin's not really a villain I've ever really thought about, but now he has probably become one of the best on-screen Batman villains we've ever gotten. That's throughout the four movies from the 80s and the 90s, the Nolan movies, the Batman. Man, I think he's up there with Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger, and I think now it's Colin Farrell.
He's definitely doing that. None of the other Batman villains have really been able to meet that standard. I mean, was it Killian Murphy who played Scarecrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really. I remember his face, but I'm like, oh, what did he do? In other words, forgetful.
Yes.
And Heath Ledger, is somebody that like will always kind of have that status, like nobody can touch him. Jack Nicholson had that for a long time,
Yeah.
and Heath Ledger literally did like died for that role. Like he did such a great job. Um, and so Colin Farrell, we shouldn't, I guess, be surprised by this though. Colin Farrell isn't nobody.
Yeah,
this
he
is
is an Oscar-winning actor.
this is
So
him going backwards in his career, in a sense. But it's worth it because this series is better than any contemporary DC movie that we've seen.
by a long shot, and
Yeah, I was trying to be very careful about saying Batman movie, but that's just because I genuinely don't remember the last time Christopher Nolan made out a movie. Was it 2012?
it's
That
2012, and like
okay,
was that The Dark Knight Rises? Yeah, and then we got the Batman after that.
okay, 2013. Let's think about that. It's so what I wanted to say was this is the best Batman movie we've had in a long time. It has been a long time.
Well, the Batman, I think, is a masterpiece. Like that movie, I know it's overly long, and like people do have problems with that. Colin Farrell was great in the little scenes that we did get here.
Little scenes that we
Yeah,
did get.
but when you get him in big doses, holy crap! Like this is amazing, and another amazing addition to this world is Sofia Falcone or Sofia Gigante.
Oh my
I
god,
was
yes.
she is so good. Like Kristen Milotti has always been like a really great actress. Like you go back to How I Met Your Mother, obviously, and then Palm Springs. She was also like really funny in her one episode of 30 Rock she was in. And now you put her in this, like her acting range is off the charts. I love this character, and I am happy that she is probably coming back for future installments.
Yeah, but oh my god, I feel so bad for her character. Like she's back to square one again.
Yeah.
Like she was someone you could feel bad for. She was still a monster, but she knew how to play the game. Um, I uh, can I say this? I'd like to say Sophia, her character, is a very beautiful but sophisticated individual. And I love that the actors, or I'm sorry, the directors, the people didn't try to overly sexualize her. They
Yeah.
were like that scene where she was in the insane asylum and they were hosing her down. They showed her ankles, and that was the clear message that she is not comfortable. This is a very scary situation. I love that they didn't need to make her naked. They didn't need to, do anything of that sort. I think it just focusing on her. The writers did such a great job with making her, and of course the actress, like she fucking delivered. This is someone who is such a great character, not a female character, not a anything like that, just a character. And I think I talked about that in the last episode. I think we need to have more female characters or just characters in general written like this.
Yeah. She is like phenomenal. Like I am so excited because at the end of this episode, she gets the letter from Selena Kyle, her half sister Catwoman. Like we could do, like I will take five more of these shows, like villain origin Batman stories. Like if you do a Sophia and Selena show, I would love that. I would love to
Is
see her in the Batman part two. Like there's ways we can go with her.
is that canonically accurate though, that they're half sisters?
I think in some interpretations it is, and internet, correct me if I'm wrong. I think in the Batman, The Long Halloween, uh, Falcone was her dad, so they are following the comics pretty closely. Besides the Salvatore Maroni getting killed, because
Hmm.
Salvatore Maroni in the comics is the guy who splashes Two Face with the acid, and
Okay.
so he's dead and he's off the board, but there's other ways we can do it now.
While we're on the subject of characters, I we got to talk about Vic. Can I? And before I forget, I need to let this out. if he was, if it would be impossible to do, but if they ever made, a biopic or of the weekend, or the weekend, if
Oh yeah,
somebody on his team just so happens to listen to this, I think that actor Renze,
yeah.
I think he would look like he would be the perfect cast to play the weekend in like whatever kind of scenario. He's got the fucking look.
And he's a great actor too. Is the other thing. He
Yeah.
is like I saw him when he's in this Marvel show, The Runaways, which came out maybe 5 years ago now. He's the lead of that, but I hadn't seen him in anything until this. I was very heartbroken that he didn't make it out of here because I really thought there was something with him, and I understand why they did it with the story. It makes sense.
Yeah.
There was also an interview with Matt Reeves where they said Robert Pattinson's Batman was going to confront him in this show, and they just couldn't find a way to make that work. But that would have been an exciting scene. This kid also has said in interviews that he would like to play Miles Morales down the line. I th-
Okay.
I think he might be a little bit too old because he's
At that
27
point,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, but I would love to see him pop up, not just in superhero stuff, but put this kid in more movies. He is fantastic.
But this is another thing. We've talked about this. Or I know I've bitched about it at least more than enough time. We need to have new actors, and this is what we're talking about. Actors like him, um, Aaron Pierre,
Yeah.
Glenn Powell. These young people, our age, we're on the come up. So like, it's awesome that Harrison Ford is going to be in the new,
Yes.
Hulk. But like, okay,
83 years old.
like that's the best we got. All right, awesome. But come on, we don't need these A-list actors to kind of save us. Friggin' Jonathan Majors, you were the chosen one.
Man, he really he really fumbled the bag on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this kid has a bright future. And speaking of Glenn Powell and Aaron Pierre, we are planned out to have another Batman universe on top of this universe. So James Gunn is going to do Batman Brave and the Bold, which will be completely separate from the Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson world. What do you think about having two competing universes going at the same time? Honestly, I think that after the success of this series, like, why would you?
It's needlessly complicated.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm gonna create a McDonald's, and then I'm gonna create a McDonald's ripoff, but they're gonna be right next to each other.
And try explaining that to the general audiences where they are like a lot of them like are kind of unaware of stuff like this or even the difference between Marvel and DC. Like we are very close to muddying the waters for sure.
Hey, um,
Hi Zelda.
yeah, you're still in here. All right, go ahead.
Hi
Um,
girl.
Marvel did it on accident, where they had to create two universes
Hmm.
completely on purposes, on accident. They are now having to do a lot of backdoor business deals to make this shit happen, where those universes will overlap and everything. DC is doing this shit on purpose for no fucking reason.
Yes.
Like,
Like we don't need it.
we already have superhero, we already have all that shit fatigue. Just give us something fresh. I mean, hell, give us another friggin' Watchmen season. Did you see that?
I did not see that. I heard that is very good though.
It's incredible. It's you if you watch the movie, you will appreciate it. But it still follows that universe. Why? Because Watchmen was a great success.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like told in an alternate universe. It's on HBO Max. Max. It's on Max.
It's HBO. we're all calling it that still. Um,
But yeah, it's on there and it's incredible. Regina King is I almost said Regina George. Regina
I would love that though. Put
Regina
Rachel McAdams as Regina George in a superhero
right?
show.
But no, Regina King is in the show. She does a great job. And like ever since then, I was having a hard time finding a good series that didn't like start out really well and then immediately flop. Watchmen was the last superhero series I saw, comic book series I saw that really was consistently good from the first episode to the very end. I haven't seen that with the Marvel shows either. I'm afraid I have to say that.
Yeah. Besides Daredevil, like the Disney Plus stuff is all about like interconnectivity and like going on to the next thing. I love that this didn't give you Easter eggs really until the last shot of this episode, which is the bat signal in the sky. So that
Yeah,
was, yeah, like we, this was solely focused on the characters, the show, the writing, the acting, everything is great. Uh, Ahmed, if we're getting into our rankings now, this is an easy Hall of Fame, like the easiest Hall of Fame I
one
have
hundred
ever
percent,
given out.
100%. It's been a while since we've given a Hall of Fame, I believe, too.
Hmm. We've been very, we've been not as lax with that stuff lately. We've been kind of like hampering down on our rankings. But yeah, this show is worth your time, even if you're not a Batman fan. Even
Yeah,
if like this, if you love mobster movies and things like that, this is it.
yeah.
Uh, I love it. I love this show. Uh, Anything else you want to add though before we get out of here?
Keep them coming. We've got a lot more cool series coming out, but they just need to keep up the pace. I hope this will inspire more um, creative shows. I hope that the Penguin also gets its flowers. Like I think I strongly believe it's up there right now with a lot of the popular series, is like The Bear and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very good. Very, very impressive first season. But yeah, this has been Box Office Quarterbacks. I'm Jeff. That's Ahmed.
And this
That
is
is
Zelda.
Zelda. And we will see you guys next week. Have a good one.